Tomorrow, the internet doesn't slow down. It dies. No Google. No Instagram. No cloud. No little spinning wheel pretending help is on the way. And it's not just yours. 5.4 billion people. Dark. At the same time. Your paycheck. Your bank. Your GPS. Your job. Your love life. All of it running on something you can't see and can't fix. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens next. Hour by hour, day by day. And by 8 Mayan, you're going to realize the internet dying might not be the scariest part. Your first move is adorable. You reset the Wi-Fi. Then you reset it again. Then you stand near the router like your presence alone might inspire it to work harder. You hold the power button like you're performing CPR on a toaster. Be honest, you don't know your best friend's number. You don't know your bank balance without an app. You don't even know how to get across your own city without the blue line telling you where your car is. Fun fact, you were never good with directions. You were being babysat by satellites and a woman calmly saying recalculating like she wasn't judging every life choice. And honestly, the moment the internet dies, your phone doesn't stop being smart. It just finally stops carrying you. Right now, the internet is less a tool and more a second atmosphere. More than 5.4 billion humans use it, and around 92% of US adults go online every day. Google alone handles roughly 8.5 billion searches a day. That's about 99,000 tiny panicked questions every second, most of them somehow leading to near me. And here's the wild part. More than 95% of intercontinental internet traffic moves through fiber optic cables on the ocean floor, not satellites. Civilization is basically strapped to glowing spaghetti at the bottom of the sea. Comforting. Your paycheck touches the internet. Your groceries touch the internet. Your hospital records, your school assignments, your doorbell camera, your thermostat, your dating life, your attention span, your ability to avoid eye contact in line. All internet. The cloud, by the way, is just somebody else's computer. You handed your memories, your work, and half your personality to it. Bold strategy. Then it happens. Midnight hits, pages stop loading, apps log out, and the spinning wheel does one last little dance before vanishing. No warning, no fix, just silence. Hour 1, denial. You switch Wi-Fi off and on like you're negotiating with a ghost. Hour 3, bargaining. Maybe it's just my carrier. Sure, and maybe your fish is learning taxes. Hour 6, withdrawal. You check your dead apps again, then again. Then again, because apparently your thumb has developed its own religion. By day 1, every flavor of human reacts exactly how you'd expect. Your conspiracy uncle is glowing like it's Christmas morning. Why? Our workaholic boss keeps saying we can still be productive while staring at a blank laptop like it betrayed him. Your teenager wanders into the kitchen and asks how to contact friends, and for one beautiful second, your parents finally win. Cash gets weird fast. Card readers fail at small stores. ATMs get mobbed. Delivery apps vanish, which means dinner is no longer a swipe. It's a decision. A barbaric, ancient decision. And honestly, by sunset, the creepiest part isn't the outage. It's hearing your house without the constant digital hum. You forgot silence had a sound. Day 2 to day 7 is where the joke stops being cute. Banking slows. Some core financial networks limp along on private systems, but your local coffee shop absolutely does not. Direct deposits stall. Online banking is gone. Your budgeting app dies, which is tragic, because now you have to discover manually that you were broke. Hospitals stay open because doctors are miracle workers, but electronic records, lab results, imaging transfers, insurance verification, and e-prescriptions all get slower. Much slower. The ER still saves you. It just does it while fighting 2007. Transport starts fraying. Planes don't fall out of the sky. Relax. But booking systems, crew scheduling, baggage tracking, maintenance logs, and weather data pipelines turn into a bureaucratic haunted house. Shipping gets uglier. Trucks still exist. Coordination doesn't. And most grocery stores only carry a few days of inventory because modern supply chains are built on just in time, which is a beautiful phrase right up until it becomes just too late. Schools lose portals. Homework goes back on paper. Office work turns feral. No email. No Slack. No Zoom. You discover that half your job was moving information between tabs and pretending that counted as civilization. Communication shrinks to whatever still functions locally. Patchy calls, overloaded texts, radio, handwritten notes, and neighbors. Yes, neighbors. Those side characters living 6 feet away. And honestly, the apocalypse doesn't look like fire. It looks like a printer error no one can Google. By week 2, the real damage shows up. Remote work is gone. So are gig apps, streaming income, online stores, cloud businesses, digital ads, freelance contracts, and half the jobs you forgot even lived online. Your resume is still technically on LinkedIn, which is adorable, because LinkedIn is now a museum. Rumors spread faster than facts, because when the internet dies, misinformation doesn't disappear. It just puts on boots and starts talking in parking lots. Governments prioritize emergency backbones. Big companies hoard access. Everyone else gets scraps. Repair crews race to rebuild pieces of the network while markets wobble, tempers shorten, and whole neighborhoods learn that touch grass was not supposed to become national policy. And it gets worse. You don't just lose convenience, you lose continuity. Photos trapped in cloud accounts. Messages never backed up. Small businesses with no storefront except a website. Long-distance relationships forced into silence. For all the memes and junk, the internet was also where you kept pieces of your life. That's when the panic turns quiet. Not riots. Not movie chaos, just millions of you realizing how much of your memory lived somewhere you couldn't touch. And then comes the funniest collapse of all, the influencer extinction event. Great news. Your most online friend now has to influence in person. The sentence link in bio becomes a cry for help. Brunch turns into live sponsored content with no sponsorship. A wellness girl explains collagen powder to 3 trapped coworkers like a medieval town crier. A finance bro corners you at a barbecue and says he's building in stealth, which is a very exciting way to say unemployed. Without the internet, your group chat becomes 8 adults standing in a parking lot, all pretending to laugh until one person leaves so the real conversation can begin. And the unboxing videos? Oh, they're not gone. Someone is literally showing neighbors a blender over the fence going, "Guys, welcome back to my driveway." Across the street, a former brand manager is trying to make viral happen by stapling a QR code to a tree. There is no internet. The QR code leads nowhere. It is just a square full of hope and poor planning. And yes, callback time. By week 3, somebody is absolutely giving chest compressions to a router in public. The router died days ago, so did shame. But wait, would any of this actually be better? In a cruel, inconvenient, almost spiritual way, some of it might. No doom scrolling. No algorithmic rage buffet serving you fresh outrage before breakfast. No platforms designed by billion-dollar companies to harvest every spare second of your attention and resell it back to you as anxiety. You might sleep more. You might read longer than a caption. You might memorize a phone number like some rugged historical figure. You might knock on a door instead of sending a meme as a substitute for love. And yes, losing the internet would wreck jobs, isolate families, slow emergency response, and break systems you need. It would hurt, badly. But underneath all that wreckage is an uncomfortable question. If a network disappearing can erase your routine, your friendships, your work, your entertainment, your shopping, and your sense of direction in a single day, how much of your life were you actually holding, and how much was just being held for you? And honestly, the part that scares you most might not be losing the internet. It might be meeting the version of yourself that has nothing to refresh. If the internet died tomorrow, the first thing you'd lose wouldn't be information. It'd be the version of you that only exists when someone is watching. If that made you glance at your router like it's in critical condition, subscribe. This is the support group for overthinkers with Wi-Fi dependency. And in the comments, tell me the first thing you'd miss. And be honest, because the economy is not fooling anybody.